Ever wondered why you're up multiple times a night to visit the bathroom? You're not alone, and it might be more than just a part of getting older. In this video, we'll explore 7 habits you can adopt today to help you enjoy a full night's rest without those frequent interruptions. Top 7 habits to stop frequent urination at night. Number 1, limit evening fluid intake. So let's dive into our first habit. Are you tired of your sleep being constantly interrupted by that urgent need to urinate? Well, one of the most effective strategies to combat these nighttime awakenings is to really manage when and how much you drink, especially in those crucial hours leading up to bedtime. Think about it. Reducing your fluid consumption about 4 to 6 hours before you plan to sleep can make a huge difference. It can significantly decrease the amount of urine your body produces overnight, and that, in turn, lessens the likelihood of those disruptive bathroom trips. Now, of course, staying hydrated is absolutely crucial. This is especially true for individuals who might be managing diabetes or prediabetes, where good hydration actually supports blood sugar control. But when it comes to preventing nocturia, timing really is everything. The key is to focus on drinking most of your fluids during the morning and early afternoon. This way, your body gets the hydration it needs for all its daily functions, but you're not overloading your bladder right before bedtime. So, gradually tapering off your intake as the evening approaches, that's a really key step to take. You might be wondering, what's a reasonable amount then? Well, individual needs do vary, but a good aim is to have your last significant drink about 4 to 6 hours before you go to sleep. Now, this doesn't mean you can't have a tiny sip of water if you're genuinely thirsty or if you need to take medication. The main thing is to avoid large quantities of any beverage. It's so important to listen to your body during the day and drink when you're thirsty, rather than trying to catch up on all your fluids in the evening. This kind of balanced approach really helps maintain good hydration while minimizing that nighttime bladder activity. Also, take a moment to consider your total daily fluid intake. For most adults, something around 8 cups, that's about 64 ounces, of water or other fluids per day is a pretty good general guideline. But remember, this can vary quite a bit based on your health conditions, how active you are, and even the climate you live in. If you have any specific health concerns, like diabetes or kidney issues, it's always best to discuss your optimal fluid intake and timing with your healthcare provider. They can help you create a personalized plan that perfectly balances your hydration needs with the goal of reducing those nighttime bathroom visits. Number 2, avoid bladder irritants. All right, moving on to our second habit. Did you know that some of your favorite foods and drinks could be secretly contributing to your frequent nighttime bathroom visits? It's true. Certain substances are known as bladder irritants. What this means is they can provoke your bladder, making it feel full and like it needs to empty more often, even when it's not truly full. So, identifying and reducing these culprits, especially in the afternoon and evening, can make a really remarkable difference in managing nocturia. Let's talk about a major offender, caffeine. You find it in coffee, tea, many sodas, and even some pain relievers. Caffeine is a double whammy. It's a diuretic, which means it increases urine production, and it's also a bladder stimulant. So, try to limit those caffeinated beverages, especially after lunchtime. If you enjoy a hot drink in the evening, perhaps opt for caffeine-free herbal teas like chamomile or peppermint. Bonus points. These can also promote relaxation before sleep. Next up is alcohol, another significant bladder irritant and diuretic. That evening glass of wine or beer might seem relaxing at the time, but it can actually lead to increased urine production and heightened bladder sensitivity, which then disrupts your sleep later on. So, It's a good idea to consider limiting alcohol, particularly in those 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. If you do choose to have a drink, try to do so in moderation and make sure it's well before you intend to go to sleep. How about spicy foods? While they're certainly flavorful, they can also irritate the bladder lining for some individuals. So, if you notice that you're urinating more frequently after eating dishes with chili peppers, hot sauce, or other strong spices, especially if you're having them later in the day, you might want to think about reducing their consumption in your evening meals. Then there are acidic foods and drinks. Things like citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, grapefruits, and also tomatoes or tomato-based products can be problematic for sensitive bladders. Now, these foods are generally healthy, of course, but if you're struggling with nocturia, it's worth paying attention to whether they seem to worsen your symptoms, particularly if you're consuming them in the evening. And here's one that might be a bit sad for some: chocolate. Unfortunately for many of us, chocolate contains both caffeine and another compound called theobromine, both of which can have a mild diuretic effect and stimulate the bladder. Darker chocolate tends to have higher concentrations of these compounds. So, if you suspect chocolate might be a trigger for you, try reducing your intake, especially in those hours before you head to bed. Finally, let's consider artificial sweeteners. These are found in many diet or sugar-free products, and they've also been linked to bladder irritation in some people. If you frequently use products containing things like saccharin, aspartame, or sucralose, it might be worth considering whether they could be contributing to your nocturia. You could try eliminating them for a while to see if your symptoms improve. And don't worry, finding enjoyable, non-irritating substitutes is definitely possible. Think about naturally sweet fruits earlier in the day, or even plain water infused with cucumber or berries. These can help you make these changes sustainable. Number 3, establish a pre-bed urination routine. Okay, on to our third habit, establishing a pre-bed urination routine. Imagine this: settling into bed, feeling relaxed and confident that your bladder won't be the reason you wake up in just a few hours. Sounds good, right? Well, creating a consistent pre-bed urination routine can be a really powerful tool in achieving this peace of mind. The core idea here is super simple. Ensure your bladder is as empty as possible right before you drift off to sleep. This significantly reduces the chances of that early morning call from nature. One really effective technique you can incorporate into your routine is something called double voiding. It sounds technical, but it simply means urinating twice before you go to bed. So, first, empty your bladder as you normally would. Then, wait just a few minutes, perhaps while you brush your teeth or finish up other pre-sleep rituals, and then try to urinate again. You might actually be surprised that you can pass a little more urine the second time around. This clever trick helps ensure you've truly emptied your bladder. Now, the timing for this routine is pretty crucial. You'll want to aim to do your final, that's your double, void right before you actually get into bed and turn off the lights. If you urinate too early, and then you stay up reading or watching television for another hour, your bladder might start to fill up again. So, really try to make it the very last thing you do before committing to sleep. And integrating this habit into a broader, relaxing pre-sleep routine can make it even more effective. For example, your evening ritual might include dimming the lights, perhaps reading a physical book, not something on a screen, maybe engaging in some light stretching or meditation, and then finally, your double voiding bathroom visit. This approach not only helps with nocturia, but also signals to your body that it's time to wind down and prepare for some truly restful sleep. Remember, consistency is key here. try to make it a non-negotiable part of your nightly wind down. Number 4, practice pelvic floor exercises. Let's move on to habit number 4, which is practicing pelvic floor exercises. Feeling more in control of your bladder, both during the day and at night, is something that can often be achieved by strengthening the muscles that support it. These important muscles are your pelvic floor muscles, and exercises specifically designed to tone them, which you might know as Kegel exercises, can be incredibly beneficial for reducing nocturia. They work by improving your bladder control and helping to prevent leakage. So, how do you perform these Kegel exercises? Well, first, you need to identify the correct muscles. Probably the easiest way to do this is to try to stop the flow of urine midstream the next time you urinate. The muscles you use to do that? Those are your pelvic floor muscles. Once you've identified them, the great thing is you can perform the exercises anytime, anywhere, and very discreetly. You just contract these muscles and hold for a count of about 5 seconds, then relax for 5 seconds. It's really important to ensure you are not tightening your abdominal, thigh, or buttock muscles at the same time. Just focus on the pelvic floor. And of course, remember to breathe normally throughout the exercise. To make sure you've got the proper technique, you might find it helpful to imagine you are trying to stop yourself from passing gas. Or, for women, you could try to imagine lifting a marble with your vagina. The sensation you're looking for should be one of squeezing and lifting internally. If you're at all unsure whether you're doing them correctly, please don't hesitate to ask your doctor or a physical therapist who specializes in pelvic health. They can guide you. As with many things, consistency and patience are absolutely key to seeing results with these exercises. Aim to do at least 3 sets of about 10 to 15 repetitions per day. As your muscles get stronger, you can gradually increase the hold time from 5 seconds up to 10 seconds. Now, it may take a few weeks or even a few months to notice a significant improvement in your symptoms, so it's really important to stick with it. And if you find it difficult to perform Kegels correctly, or if your nocturia persists despite your best efforts, please know that pelvic floor physical therapy can offer specialized guidance. A trained therapist can use techniques like biofeedback to ensure you're engaging the right muscles effectively. They can also develop a personalized exercise program tailored specifically to your needs, which can significantly enhance your journey towards better bladder control. Number 5, elevate legs before bedtime. Our 5th habit is a simple one, yet it's often overlooked, and it can significantly reduce nighttime urination. It's elevating your legs for about an hour before you go to bed. This technique primarily helps to manage something called peripheral edema, which is basically the accumulation of fluid in your lower limbs, your legs and ankles. So, by elevating your legs, you encourage this excess fluid to be reabsorbed into your bloodstream and then processed by your kidneys before you sleep, rather than after you lie down. Think about it. During the day, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting or standing, gravity can cause fluid to pool in your legs and ankles. Then, when you lie down flat to sleep, this accumulated fluid starts to move back into your circulatory system. Your kidneys then get to work processing this extra fluid, and that means they produce more urine, which, you guessed it, can lead to those unwelcome nighttime bathroom trips. So, elevating your legs proactively addresses this whole issue before it becomes a problem in the middle of the night. Now, for proper elevation, you'll want to lie down on your back, either on a sofa or perhaps in bed, and raise your legs so they are above the level of your heart. You can use a few pillows stacked under your calves and ankles to achieve this position comfortably. The goal is to aim for an elevation that feels supportive and doesn't put any strain on your back or hips. And remember, even a gentle elevation can be beneficial. What about timing? Well, the optimal time to do this is for about an hour before your intended bedtime. And you can easily combine this with other relaxing pre-sleep activities you might enjoy, such as reading a book, listening to some calming music, or even practicing deep breathing exercises. This multitasking not only helps with that important fluid redistribution, but also promotes overall relaxation, which beautifully prepares your body for a good night's sleep. It can be really motivating to understand the physiological reason why this works. By encouraging the resorption of fluid from your extremities while you are still awake and able to use the bathroom, you effectively reduce the workload on your bladder during the night. It's a simple adjustment to your evening routine, but it can lead to fewer awakenings and more consolidated, refreshing sleep. And who wouldn't want that? Number 6, keep a symptom diary. Coming in at number 6 is the habit of keeping a symptom diary. You see, understanding the unique patterns and triggers of your own nocturia is a really crucial step towards managing it effectively. And a symptom diary, which is sometimes called a bladder diary, is an absolutely excellent tool for this. By meticulously tracking your habits and symptoms, you can uncover personal insights that might not be immediately obvious. This, in turn, empowers you to make targeted changes and also to communicate much more effectively with your healthcare provider. So what should a helpful diary template include? Well, for each day, you'll want to record the types and amounts of fluids you drink, and importantly, when you consume them. Also, note the times you urinate, both during the day and, of course, any nighttime awakenings. It can also be really useful to record the volume of urine if that's possible. A special measuring hat for the toilet can help with this. Additionally, track your food intake, especially those potential bladder irritants we talked about, like caffeine, alcohol, or spicy foods, and also any medications you take. And don't forget to log when you go to bed, when you wake up, and generally, the quality of your sleep. After keeping this diary for about a week or two, patterns may really begin to emerge. You might notice, for instance, that on days you have a late afternoon coffee, your nighttime awakenings increase. Or perhaps you'll see that certain foods seem to correlate with more frequent urination for you. Recognizing these individual triggers is so powerful because it allows you to make informed decisions about your lifestyle adjustments. Maybe shifting your largest fluid intake to earlier in the day or avoiding specific foods in the evening will become a clear path forward based on your own data. And remember, this diary isn't just for your personal use. It's an absolutely invaluable resource when you consult with your healthcare provider. Instead of just relying on memory, you can present concrete data about your experiences. This kind of detailed information can really help your doctor to better understand your specific situation, identify potential underlying causes, and then develop a more personalized and effective treatment plan. This plan might include further investigations or specific medical advice that's tailored precisely to your needs. Number 7, create a safe nighttime environment. Our 7th and final habit in this list is about creating a safe nighttime environment. Now, while our main goal is certainly to reduce those nighttime bathroom trips, it's also really wise to make any necessary journeys as safe and as minimally disruptive as possible. A fall in the dark can, unfortunately, lead to serious injury, and fumbling around for light switches can fully awaken you, making it much harder to get back to sleep. So, creating a safe and sleep-friendly nighttime environment is a very practical step that supports both your physical safety and your sleep quality. One great idea is to consider installing motion-activated nightlights along the pathway from your bed to the bathroom. These provide gentle automatic illumination as soon as you get up guiding your way without you needing to search for a switch or flood the room with harsh, sleep-disturbing bright light. If you can, try to choose lights with a warm, dim glow, as those blue-toned bright lights can interfere more significantly with melatonin production and your overall sleep. Also, take a moment to really survey the route to your bathroom and remove any potential trip hazards. This could include clutter, loose rugs, electrical cords, or really anything else that could cause you to stumble when you're in a sleepy state. Ensuring a clear path is such a simple but effective safety measure, and it's particularly important if you often experience urgency or if you feel a bit unsteady on your feet at night. Now, for situations where urgency is particularly high or if mobility is limited, it's worth considering bedside solutions. Things like a bedside commode or a urinal can be a very practical option for some people. They minimize the distance you need to travel and reduce the risk associated with navigating to the bathroom when you're half asleep. If you think these might be beneficial for you, it's a good idea to discuss these options with your healthcare provider or perhaps an occupational therapist. And finally, maintaining a sleep-friendly bathroom environment is also really important. If you do need to turn on a light in the bathroom, try to use the dimmest one possible. You could also consider keeping the bathroom door slightly ajar, if it's safe to do so, to minimize any noise from opening and closing it. The main goal here is to make the trip quick, safe, and as unstimulating as possible. This will allow you to return to bed and hopefully fall back asleep much more easily. When to seek medical help. Now, it's really important to talk about when to seek medical help. While all these lifestyle changes we've discussed can significantly improve nocturia for many people, it's absolutely crucial to recognize when professional medical advice is necessary. If your frequent nighttime urination persists despite your best efforts with these habit modifications, or if it's a new symptom for you, or if it suddenly worsens, then it's definitely time to consult your healthcare provider. These kinds of symptoms could indicate an underlying medical condition that requires proper diagnosis and treatment. You see, there are several conditions that can contribute to nocturia. For example, urinary tract infections, or UTIs, are a common cause, and they're often accompanied by pain or burning during urination. Other bladder issues like overactive bladder syndrome or bladder outlet obstruction, which is often due to an enlarged prostate in men, can also be culprits. And it's not just about the urinary system. Conditions like undiagnosed or poorly managed diabetes can lead to increased urine production. Interestingly, sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep, has also been linked to nocturia. Furthermore, certain heart conditions or kidney problems can affect your body's fluid balance and contribute to that nighttime urination. When you see your doctor, they can perform a thorough evaluation. This may include a physical exam, a careful review of that symptom diary we talked about, urine tests, and possibly blood tests or other specialized investigations to really pinpoint the cause. Based on these findings, medical treatments may be recommended. These could range from medications, perhaps to manage an overactive bladder, treat an enlarged prostate, or address underlying issues like diabetes or sleep apnea. In some cases, a referral to a specialist, like a urologist or a sleep doctor, might be necessary. The most important thing is, please don't hesitate to seek help. Effective treatments are often available. So to wrap things up, implementing these 7 habits can indeed lead to a significant reduction in those disruptive nighttime bathroom trips. This, in turn, paves the way for better sleep quality and improved daytime energy, something we all want. Now, While these lifestyle modifications may not eliminate nocturia entirely for absolutely everyone, they really can make a substantial and positive difference in managing your symptoms and greatly enhancing your overall well-being. Now we'd love to hear from you. Have you struggled with nocturia? If so, please share which of these habits worked best for you in the comments below. We encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter for more health tips. And of course, please share this article with someone who you think might benefit from achieving better, more restful sleep.